You know. Anyway, the word solutionism is really might be the major contribution of this whole thing is the word itself. Because already with my friends from Austin, Texas, and so forth, when they hear the word solution, they point to me. Because they've already branded in their own mind solution, the thing Darko's doing, which is solutionism. So what if we actually had a viewpoint in the general public of the liberty movement as, oh, those guys are the ones who are trying to solve something.
I feel you on that, man.
Yeah, I mean, the thing with right now with the liberty movement is that the people who don't agree with us think we're crazy. I mean, that's because you're coming to the people with the problem, and it's a little bit harsh and it's a little bit tough to take. What if you come to people with solutions? Right now, the powers that be within psychiatry and so forth have created a new disorder which characterizes all of us. Right? Anybody that's against the government and for liberty and fighting the government and all that has some kind of a new disorder. I forget what they call it. What are they going to do?
I got a disorder.
What are they going to say?
Give them a disorder.
They're going to say, oh, those guys have a disorder because they're trying to solve something? No, the point is that you can't attack that. If somebody's trying to solve a problem, how are you going to attack them for that?
I mean, most of us all are non-aggressionists, so we're pointing out the problem. We're trying to say you have the solution is like predicting the future. Like, how would this work in a free society? I don't know. That's how I can
well, no, I'm talking about
future.
tangible things where you produce a predictable result. Like permaculture is a perfect example. They've got it all taped. How to grow stuff, you know? Yeah, and educating people on wild edibles, and if the food supply and everything disappears from the grocery, there'll be people dying in the streets. But if you know what's edible, you won't be.
Yep.
Unless they start eating you or something.
If we all have a bigger connection to the earth, we're just better off doing it. I mean, the earth is the biggest thing in all of our lives. I mean,
Have you seen this group? They actually have like their little farm type laboratory in, I think it's in Missouri. They call themselves open source ecology. What they do is they work on all sorts of power generating things. They're pretty much trying to create a catalog of all the basic types of technology and infrastructure that a small community would need to produce almost everything they need for a semi-comfortable modern lifestyle. So it's off they think about generating power. They have open source plans for building a tractor. They have an open source plan for metal work.
Yeah, or somebody knows how to do an open currency, and somebody else knows how to do permaculture, and then they share their research.
For example, people. One aspect of that, people who are, spending time in federal prison for victimless crimes, but they're not conscious of the whole philosophical and ideological thing around that. Those are some people that could receive some help, some compassion, some help for legal help or whatever. But I don't know. It's just one aspect.
Okay. All right.
It's not that simple to say us versus them.
Yeah. No, I understand. It's a lot more complex than that.
Yeah.
I think that's the point I was trying to make.
But understand, please, that what I'm trying to do is move us out of that and say whoever they are, or whoever we consider is infringing on our rights and so forth, making life more difficult for us in some fashion, with an intention to do so, whatever that intention might be, just let them do whatever they're going to do and go ahead and live your life and be empowered with more resources and understanding and so forth, and build communities of people who want to do the same. Just sidestep that whole thing. Let them oppress each other.
Yeah, that's like you just saying, like, live free as if the state didn't exist.
Yeah, that's a good strategy.
Prosper.
Yeah, that's nice up to a certain point until they come out and get you and take you to prison.
It's better than trying to fight back against them and using their energy.
I know it's definitely better, but it's definitely not a complete solution. Because once they,
I think we need to start walking down the right road and see where it takes us.
Of course, absolutely.
But if we keep walking down the same road, we're
get
not going to get there.
Step past that.
Yeah.
Say you're living in a free community and you say, I'm not going to have a driver's license, and then they stop you, you're in prison, you're not going to let you out immediately, and so you got a world of hate on you. And so now what? Now what? There's got to be an aspect of kind of self-defense, whatever. Like handling, disputes with the state.
I don't think it's there yet, though. I think it's like that's something that's going to evolve.
Yeah. Because we got a lot of solutions, but the thing is, when you try to do them,
Yeah.
you're going to run into a world of problems sooner or later.
Yeah.
Now what?
Right. Well, we got to undercut that, because right now we have a world that's totally out of communication with one another. People don't know who their neighbors are and so forth. You know, I mean, you got the internet, which is great, but it's so anonymous and so separate from, you know, reality. It's its own reality. You know. So it's like, how do you get people to actually start communicating for real, instead of on their cell phones, instead of on the internet? Actually go into their communities and start doing stuff. Then you'll start probably open up a whole new Pandora's box of problems, you know, because whoever is going to say, well, you know something, forget. They're going to come down on those guys that are solving problems.
All right, man. I'll give you a few more minutes, but we've been running on like almost 20 minutes now.
Oh, really?
So yeah.
Oh, okay.
So I'll let you like answer a few more questions.
Yeah. People have questions.
Is anybody else?
Anybody else?
We'll take 2 more questions. I don't mean to cut you off, man.
No, it's fine,
If you
man.
want to talk amongst other people after this, that's fine.
No
I
worries.
think the message is that people have to
Sorry, Paul. One moment. What were you saying?
to say the idea that if people want to be free, freedom, when you're standing outside holding picket signs, you're asking for freedom. You're not going to get freedom by asking for it. You're going to get freedom by taking it.
Yeah, it's like
No
G.
slave
Edward
ever
Griffin.
begged the master for freedom and got it.
Yeah.
And the people who you associate with better.
It's like the G. Edward Griffin
I'll try
thing,
to-
you
I'll
know.
try
It's
to
like
keep
the
it short.
pirates
Sorry
took
about
over the ship, and what are you going to do? Go to the ship and go on the ship and carry around signs saying, "Please, pirates, let us have the ship back."
Right, but the picket sign people will say, we're not there begging for our freedom. We're there to educate people and draw attention to our issues. That's what they will say.
I just want to say I really like your approach.
Yeah.
I think that is something that we need to refocus and stop fighting
Right.
and start creating.
Yeah.
One of the examples that you look at is in the Middle East. Now, whenever you think about the Jews and the Arabs and all that stuff, what did they do? The Jews moved to Israel and they built a country.
Yeah.
And the Arabs are mostly fighting the Jews, okay? And it's like, who's being more successful? So the example is, if you create, and create abundance for people, and you do exchange and create value and production, okay? Stop worrying about what somebody else is doing. If they're not, if you can't find a way to take what they're doing and make something positive and productive out of it, leave it alone. Go do something else. I'll create the bad guys. If you want to label people as bad guys, that's okay, but you can just say, well, I'm not going to waste any more energy on them.
Right.
I'm going to create something with the good guys.
Why don't you just have a few last words about this organization, and you can talk to anybody about it.
All right, sure. Yeah, there's plenty of people out there who are not involved in the liberty movement. They're still getting attacked. The government's going to attack no matter what we do, because that's what they do. Government is force. Okay, any government is force. It's arbitrary force. So the thing to do is work with each other, build communities, become more self-reliant, more self-dependent, and change conditions.
Okay.
And that's what Solutionism is all about. So I hope you'll check out the website and be in communication with me. And thanks for listening, and thanks for participating, and thanks for being here.